all good things come to an end. Big show announcement. This episode of Horrible Writing.
That will never work. You can't push that. Seriously? Don't. Oh my God, that's the other thing you do. That's bad. You probably should find other hobbies. You ever learn how to spell? Stop. Be happy. Well, you don't bother. I've seen better movies. Do you really want to? And my third grade. Get up.
Welcome to Horrible Writing, the rawest, most candid, in-your-face writing show on the interwebs because none of us have time to suck. Let's do this. Welcome to episode 123 of Horrible Writing. I'm Paul Sading, I'm your host. And major show announcements. Now, the author in me tells me that I should be holding the show announcement till the very end of the episode. Kind of go out on that cliffhanger. But the storyteller just needs to shut up and the podcaster needs to step forward. And just put it right up front. And then if you're inclined to continue listening after the news, hey, I enjoy your company. So here's the deal. Episode 123 of Horrible Writing, this episode, is the final episode of Horrible Writing, at least for now. Now, how did this come about? Well, I would like to blame my mastermind group. To be bluntly honest, author A.C. Ward, author N.J. Boyle, author N.J. Boyer, Jennifer Worrell, Ruthie and Kelly. Don't know what their author names are going to be, so I'm not going to even speculate. But my mastermind group has heard my struggles with this podcast for a while now. And in our recent conversations with them, they are able to help me, remove the emotion from decisions and make a decision based on what I'm telling them are my goals and aspirations and whatnot. And I was going back and forth between just discontinuing this show and just slaving through. And then N.J. Boyer made the comment about, hey, why don't you just go on a hiatus? And A.C. Ward jumped on that and said, hey, yeah, go in with a committed time, 6 months. Because here's the deal. Here's my struggle. So those of you who are still listening to this episode, you care enough about it, I believe, or you would have already turned off. But you care enough about the show to at least hear my rationalization. So many of you who've listened to each and every episode, you know the deal. You know that I've had audiobooks in the works forever. Those of you who have taken the time to go look in the marketplace, you'll notice you haven't seen any, except for Novel Idea to Podcast, which is a year old. There are other books, like my debut novel from 2018, where I have the entire audio, I just haven't worked it. 12 Deaths of Christmas has been submitted to ACX multiple times, keeps getting rejected because I don't have time to fix it. RIP is done. Needs to be edited to be produced. The Scales is done. Needs to be produced. The fact is I cannot keep up with the demands of writing more books, like the Zodiac series, my urban fantasy, contemporary fantasy that's coming up this spring/summer, and getting those audiobooks done, and continuing with audio fiction podcasts. So if you do enjoy my stuff and my fiction stuff, maybe follow that show, subscribe to that show if you're not already, to stay in touch with me. Join the Horrible Writing Writer Support Group on Facebook. I'm not going away from that, at least not that I can foresee. But this show has gotten to the point where the costs are outweighing the benefit. And as a writer, an aspiring author, or maybe an author yourself, that's something we need to be thinking about, especially if we're indie. We have to put our business person hat on. And I've had my business person hat on for quite a while in regards to this show. But that emotional aspect, that servant leadership principle, that I have that's part of the core of who I am has stopped me from pulling the plug, to be blunt, candid, honest, and real. I've wanted to pull the plug for a while. There's a lot of reasons for it. This show, you'll notice, has gone away from interviews. Those are a lot of work. It's a single-person operation, me. The episodes, especially the most recent ones, were an indication for those of you paying attention that I had to focus my time, and I was displaying behaviors that were consistent with those tactics. I've given everybody a long lead on this, that I needed to focus on my fiction. That's why audio fiction podcast is not going away, because though that audience are potential book buyers, right? My goal is to make a living off my creative endeavors. This is a creative endeavor, but it's not the metrics, the numbers don't support the continuation of this show. The subscriber base is flat and has been. It's still, March 2020, still only has 16 ratings, all 5 stars, but out of 123 episodes, that's data that tells me, flat subscriptions. Nobody who is listening. The vast majority don't take a few seconds or a few minutes to leave a rating and review. The show isn't resonating with them deeply enough for them to invest that time. As far as patronage, it's not there. There are writers who get it, but writing podcasts are kind of like a cult of personality. It depends on who you are. And I know that about my style. I don't have time or the inclination to give people platitudes. That's not what I'm here for. Platitudes never helped me. And I know they don't help people in a measurable way towards reaching their goal. All it does is satisfy someone's ego. And I don't care about satisfying people's egos. And if you're going to be in the writing business, if you're going to come to this show for writing advice and publishing advice, I'm not going to do anything but be candid and real with you. I will support somebody until the end of the day. Every day, every week, every month, every year, if you're all in. But if you're in for the ego stroke, or you're not really committed, you say you want to do these things, but you don't put the behavior behind it, then I'm not going to, because that's not a good use of my time. So doing this show, even in its shorter formats, when I stopped doing the interviews, when I culled back the episode length, and then recently when I really culled it back, it doesn't matter. A 10-minute episode takes an hour of prep. Then it takes, 15 minutes to record an 8-minute episode. And then it takes another half hour, 45 minutes, hour to edit it, produce it. And then you throw in the uploading to the podcatchers, hosting services, the social media that goes along with it. Each episode takes roughly, just ballpark it, about 2 hours of my time. And when you're doing that routinely, that time builds up. And it has my sense of duty to the writing community has pushed me to continue to do this, even when the business sense of my brain says, Paul, you're not getting your audiobooks done. You're not editing as fast as you need to on the Zodiac series. Something has to give. I've got a home renovation project that my domestic boss put me responsible for. She said, go replace our floors. So my nights are completely consumed by that. I don't have time, but the books still have to go out to the market. Those are the priority, because my goal is to be able to support myself on creative endeavors. Remember, throughout this show, if you take nothing away from this possibly last ever, but last episode for the next 6 months, if you take anything away from this, it's, if you're serious about writing, even if you're semi-serious, you have to have goals. you have to understand what your ultimate goal is. It is the defining element to your writing life. When I was teaching leadership for the military, I would tell them, and those of you who are gamers will get this too. There's a lot of games who use this principle of marking the map, right? Putting a star on the map, putting a flag as a waypoint on that map. You plant that flag in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the forest, on the mountaintop. Everybody knows where their efforts need to be aimed towards, to getting to that flag. It's no different with writing. You have to have that single flag in the ground. And if you're saying, well, Paul, I've got 3 or 4, then that's okay. You're on your way to identifying what that single flag is. Look at those 3 or 4 flags. What are they? What are they saying? Now, how can you capture that essence in a single flag? Again, for me, there's 1,000 things that fall underneath that one flag of making a living off of my creative endeavors. But to focus on those 1,000 things distracts me, uses mental energy that I need and focus. It distracts, it reduces my focus, and I want to stay. And you all have seen this struggle. That's why I did this podcast in the beginning, was to document that journey from a know-nothing to a published author. By the end of 2020, I'll have at least 9 books out. I hope to be in double digits, especially now that I'm putting this on hiatus. So I've done that. I've made peace with the fact that the mission for this show has been satisfied, that I just wanted to document that journey from know-nothing to publish author. I did that back in 2018. Well, here we are 2 years later. I'm still doing the show because I networked and I found my community, my people, my tribe, and it was important to talk about these things. But for whatever reason, my style, my presentation, the name of this show, the fact that maybe I've attracted people who don't want to hear just real candid talk. They want to hear all those nice things said because it makes them feel better about not sacrificing like they should be in order to meet the goal that they have set for themselves. See, when I say things like that, that doesn't bother people who are go-getters, who understand the need, the requirement to have a goal, and that you have to work hard. Folks, there is a reason. Even though it feels like everybody and their brother has a book, there's a reason why so many of your friends and family have said, I was going to write a book one day, but they never do. And even those who start writing never finish. And even those who finish that first draft, it never gets past that first draft stage sitting on a hard drive somewhere. And even those who do take it to the next level, publish it themselves, go look for agents. How long do they last? There are very few people who can last for the long game. And that's because I'll just be real. I've talked about all the reasons how to do that, to sustain, to last the long game. The people who don't are the people who didn't follow my advice. So maybe this show would have worked for them if they gave it a chance, if they lowered their defensive walls and listened. But I can't worry about that. I've got too much of my own stuff to worry about at this point in time. And hey, I want to go work on my fiction a lot more. So if you do enjoy me and the stuff I create, if it doesn't bother you, because you get it, right? Even if we disagree on things, you still get that my heart's in the right place. My style is just a little more focused, like a laser. I'm like that little chihuahua on your ankle. I just don't let go of your pant leg. But if that doesn't put you off, maybe you do enjoy me. Go find Audio Fiction with Paul Sading. Honestly, it's easier to just look up my name than that show. And because if you type in audio fiction, you get the category. So you'll get anything that's been tagged as audio fiction. Whereas you just type in Paul Sading, you're only going to get my stuff. But follow my shows over there. I'm only doing 2 episodes a month, and I want that to change. I want to do more of that show. So hopefully that's good news for those of you who actually enjoy my fiction and you want more of it. Well, now you're tough. You're going to get what you asked for. You're going to get more of it because I want to get back into fiction and I want to serve fans of my fiction because they're the ones who turn around and buy my books, tell their friends about my books, post about my books on their social media. The ones who go way above and beyond. And they are the ones who are helping me reach my goal little by little, day by day. And I need to go serve them. So that's what I'm going to do. As far as horrible writing, even if this is great news for you because you were tired of subscribing, but you felt guilty about unsubscribing, now's your chance. But if this is not good news for you and you really wished I hadn't made this decision, don't unsubscribe. It's a 6-month mandatory hiatus for myself, self-imposed with people like AC Ward and NJ Boyer holding me accountable to myself. They're going to make sure that I don't release another episode until October of 2020. So in October of 2020, you'll hear from me again. And it'll be, hey, I'm back. And by the way, go buy all the Zodiac books because they're awesome. If you're into urban fiction, contemporary fiction, fun adventure type stuff, go get that stuff. Or it'll be, hey, I'm back, but not back because I'm going to shut the show down. But hey, go buy Zodiac. But either way, I'm going to let you know. If you're a writer, an author, a poet, an audio dramatist, writer, a screenwriter, come join us at Horrible Writing Writer Support Group on Facebook. I'm going to be there. We'll be talking stuff. I'll try to do monthly Facebook Live sessions so that we can continue learning together. Not totally going away. You know where to find me. Pulsating.com has all my links. Author Pulsating on Facebook. At Pulsating on Twitter and Instagram. But you will hear from me again in October, so I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm just going to say bye for now. Enjoy your spring. Enjoy your summer. Stay focused. Keep focused. Eye on the prize, right? Eye on that prize. And I want to hear some good news stories when I come back in October. Until then, keep being epic.
This has been Horrible Writing, and hopefully after this episode, you suck less than you did at the beginning. I am Pulsating, your host extraordinaire. You can find me over on the Twitterverse at WritingHorrible and over at pulsating.com/horrible-writing. Until next time, suck less.